Hey y'all, and welcome to Politibrawl. My name is Brian, and Sebastian Gorka does not hold back on this awful reporter. She might want to reconsider her job options after this tongue lashing. Let's dive in.
Can you confirm, just so we're absolutely clear here in the UK, the tariffs being imposed on the UK will be 10% on everything the UK sends to the US?
I'm not going to gainsay anything I've just heard on your programming, so it sounds correct to me. We have a special relationship, and we still have a special relationship.
Well, it's not that special, is it? If you've imposed 10% tariffs on everything.
What? Can I finish my sentences, or are you going to do the usual BBC thing?
Go right ahead.
So you're after Brexit, you've reaffirmed your independence, and I think that is being proven today by the special rate that has been afforded to the UK.
So we should be grateful here in the UK. Businesses here should be grateful.
Would you like to have the EU tariff level instead?
Well, some people here don't really understand why there's any 10% tariff at all, considering the trading relationship between the US and the UK is balanced.
It's not about balance. It's about what is being done to US goods coming into the UK, because President Trump believes in free trade, but he also believes in fair trade. And there's nothing to say that the current rate, the exempted rate, the special rate you have been afforded could not improve. It is the beginning. And I think I find it strange that you've been afforded such an exceptional status, and you're complaining? I'm not sure I understand that.
I don't speak on behalf of the whole UK, let alone for the UK government. Has President... Oh, sorry, just let me check then. So what does the UK need to offer the US in order to either bring that 10% down or eliminate it altogether?
It's not complicated. It's very, very simple. The goods of each trading partner should be handled and should be taxed, should be tariffed at commensurate rates. There should be parity. So if you don't discriminate against US goods, then the other partner, in this case the UK, will not have their products discriminated against. It's very, very simple. A kindergartner should be able to get that.
So we need to get rid of VAT on the US goods that we sell here?
There should not be any kind of pejorative handling, negative handling of US goods if they do not wish to be reflected in the way that UK goods are handled. It's like the most simple equation: do unto others as you would wish to have done unto yourself. I think I read that somewhere in a very important book.
Has President Trump just started a global trade war that will make everyone poorer?
This zero-sum game thing is really quite amusing. We want to have great trade relations with every country. But if you have punitive tariffs or tariff-like measures against our goods, you will pay a penalty. It's not about trade wars. It's about equitable relations for everyone's exports. I don't understand how this is difficult to understand. Is this complicated for you?
So a research center at Yale, the Budget Lab, found that tariffs at 20% would cost, for example, US households up to $4,200 every year. Winner of the Nobel Memorial Prize in Economic Sciences, Joseph Stiglitz, said virtually all economists think that the impact of the tariffs will be very bad for America and the world. They will almost surely be inflationary. Are they wrong?
Are these the same experts that told us masks would save you from COVID and it didn't come from a lab?
Okay, you don't like them. Let me give you some more then.
Again, you're doing it again. Stop, okay?
No, you don't like them.
You let me respond, or you don't invite me on your show. It's that simple. Can I respond?
Go ahead.
Is this the same Yale that was sued because it is racist, because it didn't allow Asians who had the highest scores possible to actually become students there? Are we talking about that Yale, perchance? I don't think I give a fig for the so-called experts at racist institutions like Yale.
Let me give you some other people then. You may want to disparage.
You're not going to convince me. You can quote whoever you wish, but 77 million Americans have spoken. And let's remind the world, my boss was president before for 4 years, and it saw an incredible growth in the US economy to the biggest economy the world had ever seen, with trading partners who actually enjoyed the benefits of that incredible economic growth.
Sebastian Gorka is right to do this. First off, let's focus on the tariff issue. The whole point of having these tariffs on other nations is because they've done it to us first. All right? It should be that simple. This isn't about free trade. This is about fair trade. And I'm not much of an expert when it comes to economics. I do know that historically tariffs aren't usually a good thing, and they haven't been used as a weapon ever since World War II because of our global struggle against communism. Well, we don't have that global struggle anymore. We won. The capitalists won. The Chinese Communist Party is only communist in name. Cuba has basically made cigars and that's it. Venezuela has tried socialism and it has gone hilariously poor. Every single time you actually open up the markets, like what's going on in Argentina, things get better. All right? It really is that simple. And so when the rest of the world is out here complaining that we're doing to them the same thing they're doing to us, I'm sorry, you could cry me a river. All right? And that's essentially what Sebastian Gorka is saying here. It does not matter about the extra testimonies. It's not about, oh, these experts are, they're predicting calamities. Uh-huh. These are the same experts that seem like they get nearly every single thing wrong. Hey, y'all. Experts say they rig the markets, print the money, and manipulate the system. But here's the truth. They can't print gold. While the dollar weakens, physical gold and silver stay real, tangible, uncontrolled. When banks go digital and emergencies lock you out of your own funds, gold and silver won't need an internet connection or government permission. Their value is outside the system, a time-tested insurance policy against tyranny, inflation, and economic resets. So don't wait until the trap is sprung. Own what the elites hoard behind closed doors. Physical gold and silver off the grid, because when the system fails, real money talks. And to help you learn more about owning physical gold and silver, we have partnered with the great company Goldco, which supports this channel, which we deeply appreciate. So check out politibralgold.com for more info and see if you might even qualify for free silver. That's politibralgold.com. But there's something even more important going on here, and it's not even the idea that the BBC has to turn to guys like Sebastian Gorka. It's not because of the bad questions that this reporter is asking. It's not even about Sebastian Gorka and his actual knowledge. No, it's something that got almost missed here. And if you blinked, you might have missed it. But he threw out a line about suing Yale University. And that's more important than you think. Because in the first Trump administration, they realized that, hey, after about 2 years of investigation, there's grounds to sue Yale because they're not following the basic laws that are on our books, namely the Civil Rights Acts of 64 and 65. Because, as it turns out, it looks like Yale has been very discriminatory about who they allow into their institutions, which is not allowed under the law. So the Trump administration took a look at it, and lo and behold, in 2020, they actually had a lawsuit against Yale. Unfortunately, the debacle that was 2020 ended up happening, and go figure, Joe Biden's administration drops the lawsuit within a month. So I think something like this needs to be taken a look at, but here's what happened. Instead of using race in a narrow, time-limited, and targeted manner to achieve specific and defined educational goals, Yale has institutionalized its use of racial preferences as a permanent feature of its admissions process and decisions, the complaint says. Oh boy. The very same people who are saying that DEI is a good thing are now the very same people who have been taken a look at under the microscope and realize you might be breaking several laws here. So I would love for Yale to be properly investigated for this. I don't think they've changed their practices. And now Columbia has had $400 million taken away from them, and I can't clap loud enough. Our education system has become a nightmare. The vast majority of it. A couple of colleges do things the right way. Some people will go to colleges for specific reasons. But if you go to Yale, you go to Columbia, and you're full of these ridiculous protesters that don't really know what they're doing, that think that supporting Hamas is going to be a good thing, we've got a problem. And as I've said many times, colleges and universities are there as a playground, all right? That's where you get to experiment. That's where your ideas get to come to pass. The incubators that create these crazy leftists are a combination of Hollywood programming, the internet, namely Tumblr, Reddit, and other cesspits that used to be Twitter, and of course, our public schools themselves. I think this sends a huge message. And by the way, suing Yale the first time, again, I think we need to reopen this case. Our higher education systems need a higher standard, and they're not living up to it. These are not just American institutions. These are some of the best schools in the world. All right? Outside of Cambridge and Oxford, I can't really name you too many schools that rival what the United States does in terms of prestige and ability. Sure, there's probably some good schools out there in Western and Central Europe, but that's not the point. The point is these are our elite institutions. And when I say elite institutions, the BBC itself, they know better, but they continue to ask these ridiculous questions. They don't want to frame anything as positive. They just want to make sure that Trump looks bad. And Sebastian Gorka has had enough of this nonsense. Because that's what it ultimately is. A bunch of nonsense. We have this in our schools. Not just in our children's education, but in our colleges as well. Even our elite ones are not immune to this nonsense. So I think the Trump administration has done the right thing by withholding money from Colombia. They are currently negotiating as we speak, but I don't think Trump should give the money back. In fact, I kind of think he needs to go a little bit farther. But that's not everything that they're talking about here. They talk about tariffs. They talk about other major issues. And of course, it's the BBC. You can't trust them as far as you can throw them. And Sebastian Gorka, you don't make him mad. Even though he does sound awesome with that British accent. Folks, my name is Brian. Hope you enjoyed this segment here on Politibrawl. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Catch you on the next one. And until then, y'all have a good one.